just finished watching the Google I/O conference 2014. It was 3 hours long, and I'm so glad that Google actually put all the good, juicier information at the beginning half of the stream and saved all the developer jargon towards the end. So basically, you're starting seeing viewers watch from the live stream to start to go down as time goes on. People kind of stuck around to see if there's an announcement of a next Nexus tablet. Unfortunately, no dice. So first things first, Google always gets into talking about how the mobile industry, tablet industry, mobile web usage always grows. You know, the mobile industry, like I said, you see growth there. Tablets is up 62% compared to last year. Things of that nature. Right after, they moved into something what they call Android One. Basically, in emerging markets, they're trying to get manufacturers or OEMs out in those regions to basically create a one experience Nexus device under the affordable price point of $100. So they can experience their own Nexus-like device in those regions. So give you guys much more clear what I'm talking about. We had HTC, then we had Samsung, and we have LG manufacture the Nexus for Google out here in let's say Canada, US, Europe, regions like major markets like those. Then right after, Google goes and talking about the next iteration of Android, which is Android L. To kick things off, Google stated that Android L will have 5,000 new APIs. So for developers, you have a bunch of new tool sets, or a brand new tool set, to basically enhance your applications for your users. Next up, they talk about something they call material design. Material design is like basically the next new design language for Android L, and it is very beautiful. Google has heavily displayed and constantly mentioned that everything that you do in Android L is based behind material design. And what that's going to give you, you're going to get new transitions, new touch animation, and everything will seem to flow seamlessly, moving from one area to an application to the next. So basically, if you go into a browser and you see like a gigantic Google Now card, as you scroll down the card, you will start to see, like, let's say the border of the text start to shrink, and the information in the card will slowly fade away as a seamless kind of thing. And they also stated that this will be running at 60 frames per second, so everything will have a nice smooth flow touch to it. Google also made it seem like basically the graphical jump from moving, I guess, from KitKat to Android L is like the equivalent to moving from a 7th gen console to an 8th gen. You're gonna have increases in shadows, texture, and kind of like a dynamic feel. It's basically seem like you're like the layers on an app is going to get enhanced to the point where they feel like they have their own lively space, if you kind of get what I mean. Moving along, Google talked about enhanced notifications. Now you'll be able to interact with your notifications from the lock screen. So when you get notifications from your Gmail, your email, your Twitter app, your Facebook, you have basically like a kind of like your notification shade. You'll have a little bit more detail, and you can swipe across and you can swipe down for apps that has more priority, provided you set it a certain way, and just overall click them and swipe without actually unlocking the phone. Google is enhancing notifications to be less intrusive. So say for example, you get a phone call and you're in the middle of say battle run or words with friends, right? Usually on a Nexus device, when you get a phone call, the phone call overlaps whatever you're doing and basically disrupts that whole experience. Now you will get like a slight shade, or if anybody owns a Galaxy device, such as myself, we have the GS5, and the latest version of TouchWiz also does this. You'll get a pop-up notification of that phone call, so therefore what you're doing will not be disrupted. Now this enhanced notification right here impressed me the most, and it kind of reminded me of what Motorola was going for with that NFC clip that you have in your pocket, where you take out your pocket and the NFC clip swipes above your device and unlocks your phone, basically bypassing the lock code. You can now do something very similar in Android L, but you can set what kind of personalized unlock you want for your phone. So say for example, you have a wearable to your device, right? Your phone is Bluetooth to your, like I said, your LG G-Shock 3, your Samsung Galaxy Live, or your Moto 360, whatever, right? And you swipe your phone, you just simply swipe to unlock. There's no code, even though you have a code enhanced. Now, if I move out of the range of my watch and it disconnects from that Bluetooth connection, it can't ascertain if it's me or an intruder on my device. So therefore, if somebody picks up my phone and try to unlock it, it would basically put the lock code that I had preset. Now that is simply amazing. So now when I own my device and it knows that I'm the user holding it, it basically gives me no password. Any person that is not the owner of the device will have to know the password in order to unlock it. That is simply genius, and I give a lot of credit for that. That's a great idea. Multitasking has also been enhanced in Android L. It has received the material design treatment with new shadows and giving you the ability to take a peek inside web pages that you may be looking at in your Chrome browser. Also, here's a nice little thing. When you also do a web search within Chrome on Google, and if you have an app installed, you now can have your web searches linked to the app. So basically, instead of going to the page that it may have popped up, it'll open that search that you popped up in your Google search link straight to the app. So that's a nice little thing to talk about. Now let's move on to performance. Now, and KitKat, we all know that Google was slowly transitioning over from the Delvik code to Arc, and they basically went more into Arc. Basically, overall, on a benchmark performance-wise, it's getting improvements across the board. So everything that Delvik was able to do, Arc is going to basically enhance that and shave time off for whatever you do. So you should see things like memory management improvement. It's going to be fully compatible with 64-bit. So in the future, once application starts making that transition, Android L already has you covered on the software side. You're going to have basically enhanced GPUs. Android L should be able to handle the GPU growth that we are experiencing in the mobile market. So now, as Tegra and Qualcomm are working on these desktop class GPUs that's supposed to bridge the gap from a desktop to a mobile device, the software side will have you covered, and you won't have any issues there for developers or people who are designing these games to take full advantage of that. Google also have mentioned something called Project Volta. Now, this is basically like, each Android, there's a war on something that Google is always stating. Finally, they introduced something called Project Volta, which is going to enhance battery life. Now, this gets very detailed, and they're going to include something called Battery Historian, where you can see exactly how an application or your activity is affecting battery life. So you can effectively read what's doing the most battery draining and start attacking it and make it more efficient. Finally, in stock Android, you will have a power saving mode. Finally, Google, finally. All these skins has been having it for years, and you decided to put it in there. Motorola thought ahead of you with the Moto X brand and included its own power save mode. Now it's a godsend for a Nexus device to have its own power save mode. And according to Google in the I/O conference, this power save mode can give you an additional 90 minutes of normal use back to your device when you activate this mode. Now, I'll be honest with you all, right? My sole purpose to watching this Google I/O, and instead of waiting for the blogs or major websites to start reporting what's been shown at I/O, is I wanted to see firsthand what Android Wear is bringing to the table. Back when Google announced it in March, I got overly excited for the Moto 360, and I've been saving a nice little lump sum of cash on the side just for its release because there's no pricing set aside. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna be around the 300 or lower price point that the Galaxy Gear has set. So once they finally got into the segment of Android Wear, I was like, yes, show me the Moto 360. But they showed the LG G-Shock watch. So fine, all right, cool. I thought to myself, show me what Android Wear can do and the software that comes along with it, instead of the preview that you showed in March. Now, pretty much a watch or a wearable is pretty much a notification forward center from your device. Basically, it's an even quicker way to go through your notifications without actually pulling out the device. And through using things like my Pebble smartwatch, and I previously owned a Galaxy Gear, it definitely comes in handy, especially when you're behind the wheel of a vehicle. Cool thing about it though, right? It syncs even better than what the Gear does, or even better than what the Pebble watch do, because everything that you do in your watch is technically forwarded to your phone. So say for example, if I go through a Google search in my Chrome browser and I start swiping up the page, it actually syncs with the phone, and the phone starts syncing, or and vice versa. I start swiping up on the phone and the watch interface starts to go along with it. So that's incredible. That is very incredible. So from Android Wear, you can expect things like quick settings, music player controls, quick SMS reply. Everybody knows that. We've seen that at the Android Wear demo back in March. If the device supports heart rate and steps, it's going to basically have built-in software support for that. It's going to bridge notifications from tablets and phones, which is actually pretty unique. So whatever you do on your tablet and phone, it'll also apply to the watch. It supports Google Play Maps navigation. Now that's huge. Now I thought when I had my Gear, I thought it'll be like a unique feature to basically see my Google Maps on the watch instead of pulling out the phone. So I'm glad to see that Android Wear will be supporting that. When you install an application on your phone and it has an Android Wear counterpart to it, you don't have to worry about using a dedicated app to basically forward the application on the watch itself. You just simply download the application and it automatically gets forwarded to the Android Wear version if available by the developer. And here's the last big surprise, right? So we know of the LG G-Shock watch and of the Moto 360, right? But guess what? At the end of showing everything they had to show with Android Wear, they said available later on today in the Google Play Store, the LG G-Shock watch and the Samsung Galaxy Live. So my face is like, Galaxy Live? What the hell? Where's the Moto 360? And then he goes on to say, yeah, the Moto 360 will be available later on this summer. So I'm going to go ahead and assume Motorola is holding that back to launch with their next big set of devices. Maybe the Moto X Plus 1 and whatever this rumored device, new Motorola device is going on. So I'm like, all right, there's no pricing, and will this be like a always on with the Samsung Galaxy Live? They showed a brief render of how it looks, and I can only imagine how gear owners feel right about now. So I was a gear owner, right? Just want to go on a little quick rant here. I was a gear owner. Then 6 months later, the Gear 2, the Gear Neo, and the Gear Fit come out, and pretty much 2 months later from that, which is basically April, May, June, you have the Samsung Gear Live. What? Anyway, so that was like the highlight of the of the Google I/O conference. So Google left me hanging with pricing on these two devices. We don't know how the pricing, and I'm wondering how the battery life on these devices is going to be. I'm pretty sure they can't really state the battery life because it's a device manufactured by LG and it's a device manufactured by Samsung. But I'm wondering how Android Wear is going to tax the hardware on wearables that it can extend to maybe Pebble levels, because a 2-day or everyday charge on a wearable is kind of a huge downside to me. You know what I'm saying? There's no specifics on these devices, but we'll see later on today, because everybody who's attended Google I/O today will be receiving either a LG G-Shock watch or a Samsung Galaxy Gear Live, whichever one they choose. They got a cardboard box, which who knows what's in that box. And also, when the Moto 360 comes out, they got like a voucher to receive that for free. I have to go to these damn Google I/O conferences. But anyway, after that was announced, they went on to Android Auto. So now Android is going to be supported in vehicles coming out the end of this year and throughout all of next year and the year above. So when you basically connect your phone to charging your device, there should be an interface on the dashboard of your vehicle to basically give you quick settings, notifications, or quick access to the things that matters the most to you on your vehicle's dashboard. So they demonstrated that. Shortly after, onto Android TV, how basically Android is trying to infiltrate your home TV entertainment center. I mean, Google have tried this plenty of times, but from what I demoed here, it's getting better, it's getting more seamless, it's getting more user-friendly, and the best part about it, instead of using this complex Google remote and this set-top box, which they had before, you can actually control Android TV with your phone. So that's a better type of remote instead of using an external remote, which you probably have a billion of with your TV and your VCR player, whatever you got. Then they showed the updates to Chromecast, and the most notable thing about Chromecast is basically you get like an AirPlay version. You can mirror your entire Android device from your Chromecast to your tablet or your phone to your TV. So that's basically beautiful. So now that kind of eliminates a lot of D and LA features that consoles or TVs or manufacturers may have within their own products. If I can buy this little $35 piece of Stream Stick and I can mirror my phone, I effectively have a great service to stream a lot of my video content to a device or show something that's on my phone, particularly YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll, things of that nature. This will be very beneficial, and for $35, you just can't beat the price. This is going to be a huge update to Chromecast, and I'm actually kind of excited. I didn't see the point of owning a Chromecast before. I was going to do it, but the mirroring is definitely going to make this well worth the $35. So that's my biggest recap of Google I/O 2014. I mean, there's still more that I can talk about, but from that point on, it starts to go into a bunch of developer things and Google Play services that they update in the background. I'm pretty sure if you're not a developer, you won't understand or won't mean anything to you unless, like I said, you're of course a developer. Let me know what you guys think of this overview of the Google I/O conference. Were you disappointed in some things? Because I can tell you right now, I was looking for a next Nexus tablet. I was looking for that tablet to be towards the end, but no dice there. And I was looking at maybe some kind of hint to the next Nexus, because there's been previous articles stating that there will be, and then some people are saying that the Nexus will continue. Who knows? But we know that there's an Android L. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that there's going to be definitely a next Nexus. I'm just going to make that assumption there. And I'm hoping, let's say, Motorola is the next up to start developing the hardware for the next Nexus. And I want to know the pricing by the end of today, stating the Galaxy Gear Live and the LG G-Shock watch. So this has been my recap. Rate, comment, subscribe. Also, please consider me following me on Facebook, Twitter, and also Twitch if you're a huge gamer. This is Jay Silver from SNN Tech. If you search me up on YouTube, just as also a quick note, if you type in Jay Silver, you won't find me. It's kind of weird, but if you type in the channel name SNN Tech, despite you seeing my name say Jay Silver, it's actually SNN Tech. That's the only way you'll find me during a YouTube search. And on that note, I will catch you guys in my next video.